So 9 years. 9 years have passed since Disney decanonized the Star Wars expanded universe. And there's been a lot that I have felt throughout that time within these 9 years. It's a journey, you can say, as a Star Wars fan or Star Wars expanded universe fan, Star Wars Legends fan. There's been ups and downs. There's been so many things have, which I'll share some of them. But um, yeah, that was a big blow that day when we found out that all these books and comics and all these years of story overall of lore was pretty much just thrown away, really. And that was an insult, I feel. That was, I'm not here victimizing myself or anything like that, because some people were actually optimistic about that specifically. They were okay. They were excited about, okay, let's get new stories, let's get new characters, etc., etc. I respect that, and I'm one of those individuals that if you felt that way, I'm happy for you. That's good, because that brings you happiness. That brings you excitement. I'm just sharing my feelings as an individual. I wasn't excited about that, but my worry about all this started when George Lucas actually officially sold Lucasfilm to Disney. And yes, there was these big news about, one of the first announcements was that we're going to produce these new movies and give us new content, movies, and pretty much a new starting point. And they could do whatever they wanted. And at first, yeah, it was hard. It was hard as a Star Wars fan and Star Wars fan of Legends and Expanded Universe. It was hard to accept because I really devoted a lot of time and a lot of, you can say, emotion, attachment to these characters that I grew to love throughout the years. I have specific memories of my kids are grown now, but they were little, and I was, I would read. I would vividly remember just reading books, and whenever we were relaxing and you know taking trips to Hawaii, and after an excursion, I'd go back to the hotel and we just relax, and I had my expanded universe book. I know it might sound ridiculous to some people, but it was something I loved to do. Just like I love to listen to records, I love to read Star Wars Legends or expanded universe books. So uh, if this resonates with you, you know that you felt like something was taken away from you, and you were helpless. You couldn't do anything. You could just go with it. And at that point, when George Lucas sold that, I pretty much shook my head. I remember just having that feeling of worry of, oh, they're gonna kill it, and not in a good way. They're gonna kill it. They're gonna ruin it, and just a lot of feelings about it. And yes, when that time came 9 years ago, I was right. And yeah, it was like a slap on the face, because this is something that we devoted a lot of money, a lot of emotion, a lot of time, and excitement. And yeah, they pretty much just threw it away. That's essentially what they did back then. We'll get to today's state of Legends in a couple of minutes. But back then, that's pretty much where we, as Star Wars Expanded Universe fans, felt just helpless. And it was heartbreaking. Truthfully, it was very heartbreaking. So um, at that point, when they announced that, I just looked at my collection, and honestly, this is something I did. I lost my, I wouldn't say, I don't know if I lost my love for Star Wars, because I still love the six movies, but I felt I needed a break from Star Wars. And I remember just putting on my comics and all the novels that I had, and had a big collection of them throughout the years, and I just boxed them up. I remember I boxed them up, and then I put them away. I put them away, and I just wasn't I wasn't there. I wasn't the excitement, I don't know. I knew I had the books. I can reread them. No, Disney didn't come over and burn everything and throw everything away that I had in my collection. As far as my collection goes, I know that because that was an argument that was um, that people who were pro Disney Lucasfilm were saying, like, nobody's ruining your childhood. Nobody's throwing all the books that you have them in your possession. So what's the problem? Well, there personally for me there was a problem because these stories were not canon anymore, and for some or continuity was no longer gonna matter anymore. So um, so yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow for sure, for myself, and I speak for many, I'm sure. But yeah, that was a hard time. So I just didn't. I lost my enthusiasm for Star Wars. Yes, I would put a movie every so often, and I just watched the 6 movies, and that was it. I hadn't picked up a book in years throughout, so I wouldn't go on social media. I wouldn't watch any YouTube videos. I didn't want to. Um, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. I needed a break from the expanded universe, and for who know for how long, who knew, and but at that moment. But yeah, I boxed everything up, put it away, and would enjoy the movies every so often for years. So many years passed. I didn't think about the expanded universe anymore. I didn't. Um, like I said, I didn't feel the enthusiasm. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but it pretty much boils down to that. Then, um, Force Awakens. I was just kind of hating, not verbally to anybody, because I respect people's, for the most part, respect the feeling that people get who are enthusiastic about something. I remember my sister would send, I remember she sent a trailer and pictures of the X-Wings on top of, going on top of this, I don't know if it was the ocean or whatever. And um, I had this really kind of bad attitude about it of like, okay, yeah, I'm not interested. So that's where I was at with that. And I was kind of hating on it, honestly. Then I saw the trailer, the next trailer. It was right before the celebration at that time, Star Wars Celebration, and I saw that image or that trailer of Han and Chewie when Han says, "Chewie, we're home," and then you see Han Solo, Harrison Ford, and you see Chewbacca, and that honestly, that touched me. That just gave me that spark again. And just for the record, anybody who loves and enjoys the Disney canon, Disney Lucasfilm canon, all power to you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that gives you some happiness that I don't feel, because what matters is that that's important to you. And if you enjoy it, whether you dabble on both or whether you're just strictly pro Disney Lucasfilm, that's perfect. That's good. I'm happy for you. But um, what I'm trying to say is that I was never like, that didn't completely change how I felt. It just gave me this excitement that I felt like, okay, wow, this seeing Harrison Ford once again in the Han Solo getup and Chewbacca next to him, it gave me that feeling again, that excitement. And I remember we went to Celebration, we were all for it, and um, that passed, and I saw the film, and I enjoyed it, um, except for the last part, the last scene. I kind of, once again, I thought, okay, these individuals don't understand certain characters, in my opinion. There were things about Force Awakens that I'm not going to bash it. This is not bashing Disney at all. This is at the same, I'm just expressing myself. Um, I didn't, I don't know, I felt some of the characters, I wouldn't say disrespected, because I don't think that was the intention. I don't think the filmmakers or the storytellers now understood. And people might say, well, who are you? You don't work for Lucasfilm. who are you to criticize anything or to say anything or to even give that statement that those individuals didn't understand? Well, I'm a fan. That says it all. I'm a fan since I was a kid. Um, but then again, this story, this franchise is not in my hands. So, but my point is that I walked out of Force Awakens, thought that was a pretty cool movie, and didn't understand the direction that were taking certain characters and missed opportunities like hell. It was wow, incredible. But okay, I was trying to be optimistic about it. Um, Years passed, or 1 year, I don't remember. This is not bashing once again, but these are feelings, these are experiences. The Last Jedi, I can say this. Thanks to The Last Jedi. That brought up the spark again for the expanded universe. Because I realized at that moment, I walked out of that theater with this horrible feeling. And I understand it's just a movie. To us, um, Star Wars is not just a movie, it's a universe. It's what's gotten us through difficult times, etc. So I don't think I've ever had that feeling of walking out of a theater. And I didn't, just to put it nicely, I didn't enjoy it. To put it very, very nicely, I didn't enjoy it. And once again, this is just my feelings about that. I really thought this individual doesn't truly does not understand these characters. The I wouldn't say the reaction to it was his fault. It, he was given the green light for these storylines and directions of these characters, so it's not totally his fault. I can have this insane idea and could get rejected. So the powers, the higher ups at Lucasfilm gave the green light to this episode 8, and that's just mind-boggling. It is to me. To me, there's if you're watching, you love episode 8, beautiful, perfect, enjoy it as you should, and if that gives you happiness, I want that for you. I really do. This is just my journey. Going back to episode 8, I walked out of there with, wow, it was heartbreaking to say the least. And I thought, okay, I'm like, okay, wow. And then I just thought, wait a second, I have this timeline, these years and years and decades worth of literature, of books, of storyline that I can go ahead and delve into and not have to worry about whatever direction Disney Lucasfilm is taking. This is no longer under George Lucas's hands, so it makes sense for them to go this route. I'm a person who appreciates George Lucas's movies, the 6 movies, as well as the stories that had his name on it, Lucas Books. I appreciate George Lucas's era of Star Wars. So that is that's what brought up my spark again. Watching episode 8 woke that up again, and ever since episode 8, I've been reading and rereading and jumping from eras to eras, and now I'm reading everything from the New Republic era. I'm having a blast. So I just finished Isar's Revenge, the X-Wing book. That was just I forgot about that book. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I don't know, certain details I just don't remember, and it's like reading it all over again. I have this huge enthusiasm about the expanded universe now, Star Wars Legends. I purchase anything that has the Legends banner, and I display it proudly, because that sets the storyline apart from this other timeline that Disney has as canon. The Legends banner, that's the canon that I enjoy. It is the expanded universe. It's the expanded universe that I will will really devote my time with. And yes, I've dabbled into the Disney era books here and there, and I'll give credit where it's due. There's this the Light of the Jedi, I believe it was called. I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed a book called Path of Deceit. That one, I have to say, was wow. It really hit me on a personal level because of certain things that that book touches on that I kind of related it to my life. So I'm I appreciate certain things, but like I said in other videos, I pick and choose. If something seems cool, I'll go watch it. I'll buy the book, but it's kind of like okay, it's something secondary. I actually have a bookshelf displaying only legends because, and then the small collection of books I have within Disney Lucasfilm is in a box where it belongs in my house. I'm I have a bookcase displaying legends because that's where my love is for Star Wars. That storyline, that direction of those characters. So, and I know I'm rambling, and whenever we express ourselves about this, we can go on and on and on. But it is a big deal. So I know I'm jumping from topic to topic a little bit, but hope you guys bear with me here. But yeah, 9 years have passed, and I was saying all this because that's the journey of those 9 years for me. What I went through, what I didn't want at certain times, what awakened that spark again and love for an interest of the expanded universe. I always loved it, but I had to stay away from it for a while. Okay, and that's healthy. That was good for me. And up to this point, yeah, the story has not continued. We did receive Marvel 108, and that was pretty much out of nowhere, and it was appreciated. And I appreciate the Disney Lucasfilm for providing that for us. That was a little gem that was thrown at us, and I really appreciate that they did that. They didn't have to. Reprinting the Legends books, the Epic collections, the beautiful omnibuses, the Essential Legends books. I purchased those because I want them to see that a lot of us back up Legends. We want Legends and we appreciate that. We buy that. So remember, money talks. So that's what they're interested in. And I feel, and there's different individuals that might feel different, and I respect that opinion. I feel buying these reprints under the Disney Lucasfilm, reprinting the Legends, Essential Legends, Epic Collections, etc., omnibuses as well, is just a form of letting them know that there's a market, a large market for it. If we boycott that, I feel that's just going to tell them that there's no interest in it. So, because there's no money in reprinting any of this. That's just my humble opinion, once again. But I really appreciate, since Star Wars is under Disney, that they're doing that for us, because that's pretty much what they're doing it for. They know that there's a fan base. I don't know if they understand this movement of we want more Legends, but I feel that they will. And do I feel optimistic about the future of getting new Legends? I do. Personally, if somebody were to ask me that, my answer is yes, I do. One hint of that I feel is them recently, in the recent years, creating this Epic collection or Essential Legends collections, and they're probably seeing it where it goes. So I hope these books are selling very well. I'm participating in that. I hope many, many, many others are as well. So as of 9 years later, what I would want is, I wish the storyline to be continued. I know that if they continue this, it doesn't have to interfere with their main canon timeline. It's just a separate timeline under Legends. As consumers who buy this stuff, we're not idiots. We know how to distinguish different storylines. Like if we go to a comic book shop, we can see that there's different storylines of Batman, of Spider-Man, of X-Men, of etc., etc. those of us who are into this stuff are not idiots. We know how to distinguish. So them having printing new stories with Legends banner, that's what I want to see. Do I want this story to continue forever? No, not really. What I would want, you can say my wish, my desire, is for them to tie up loose ends. Maybe not all of them if they don't need to, but tie up the main loose ends, and continue the story and wrap up the fate of the big three of Luke, Han, and Leia. And we see a glimpse of Luke in Legacy, but I mean letting us know what happened to them ultimately, their end, or some type of wrap up. That's what I would like to see. There's so many other things that I think about this sometimes that I'm forgetting to say right now, but that's what I would desire. That's what I want, for them to wrap up some loose ends, to give us a proper finale. I know we have Crucible, I know we have Legacy, but to give us a proper send off, like, okay, we know you guys have stuck with this for so many years. Here's we're gonna tie some loose ends. Here's a final storyline of books to conclude Legends, to conclude the Star Wars Legends timeline. That'll be amazing. That will be great. And will it happen? Well, it's been 9 years. I think there's been growth. My glimpse of hope, like I told you guys before, is Disney reprinting these books under Essential, under Epic, and omnibuses. That to me is kind of gives me a little bit of hope. Am I gonna be? I'm realistic as well. I'm being realistic. I know that it might not ever happen. None of us have control over it. It's Disney Lucasfilm. But I understand that doesn't have to happen. That's a possibility. Us not ever seeing new stories continued, or storylines that needed to be tied up and finished off. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a video on this day, since it's been 9 years. Some friends of mine have posted videos that made me think and inspired me to make this video as well. If you are a fan of both, perfect. If you're a fan of only Legends, perfect. But what I'm trying to say is I encourage you to make videos like this, expressing yourself of how many years have passed and how does that make you feel. Where would you want to see Legends go? And I would love to see that. I would love to see more and more of you guys making these making videos, expressing yourself, and I'm totally into respecting and being kind and careful with the way I express towards the Disney Lucasfilm. But I respect the fact that this franchise is under their hands, and they have assumed control over this, and that's just the way it is. And we just need to accept it and be respectful for that. So yeah, just wanted to share this. I know it went a little bit long, but I hope you guys are having a good day. And like I said, today is 9 years, and I encourage you to read some more Legends.